Hello. I wanted to make a video today explaining the reasons why I chose Durres, Albania as the first city to come to moving to Albania. The main reason, as you can see here, is because the beautiful traffic, apparently. No, but seriously, the beautiful Mediterranean climate here. I never thought I'd see snow again, at least in the near future, after leaving Wisconsin. I did some shopping this morning, and I asked some of the people working in the market if this is usual for Durres in the wintertime, and she told me that it happened, they got snow like this maybe like 3 years ago, but it doesn't happen very often. So I brought my American luck with me. After leaving Mexico, I got rid of a lot of stuff that I wasn't using in Mexico, like extra pairs of pants, socks, sweatshirts, because I didn't think I would need them. I was heading here. Once again, I knew it was cold, but I wasn't expecting to see snow again, at least until I went back to the United States. I'm glad I at least held on to one sweatshirt, and this is the warmest one I've had, so common sense prevailed there, telling me I should hold on to at least something warm. I didn't pack any hat, like stocking caps or gloves or anything, once again because I was planning on traveling to warmer climates, and I only have another month of this left to go. So I just assumed I could battle it out and toughen up during the winter months, and so far it's only really been rainy here. So it hasn't really been that bad. I mean, it's been a little chilly, but hasn't really been all that bad till I got done with teaching last night and I looked out the window and I saw that we were in the middle of a blizzard, which is beautiful to see. And I'm not complaining. I love it here and I love this temperature. I just never thought I would see it again. So yeah, this is beautiful Durres during the winter time. One other reason why I chose Durres is because of the people, and I hate for that to sound so cliche. As far as the people everywhere, you know, are great. Obviously you're going to hear that from people that travel. The people are amazing, and I did hear that about Albania, that the people here are really amazing and friendly people, and they're definitely living up to that. Specifically here in Durres, why I chose that as far as the people is because I joined one of those like expat groups on social media on Facebook, and I kind of asked around as far as like where would be a good place to live and stay and like make my home base for a little while in Albania, and there was a couple cities that got brought up, but more and more people continued to offer up the city name of not Albania, I'm sorry, of Durres. And that just kept popping up in my mind as far as remembering people kept saying it over and over again, that Durres was one of the friendliest cities that they've not only traveled to, but locals that lived here. So that's one reason that I chose Durres, because the friendly people, and so far I've been here for about a month and they've definitely been living up to their name. very friendly, and caring people who have been helping me kind of get along with the language difference. Funny story here. Talking about friendly people, and Durres specifically, is that I use Google Translate because obviously I don't speak Albanian. Squib, I believe it's called. I could be wrong on that, but I don't speak Albanian, obviously, and a lot of the older people my age and up speak broken English. The younger people speak English, but most of the shop owners, they don't speak very good English. A little bit, but not very good. Well, anyway, so I was looking for a nut cracker because I eat a lot of nuts here, and I want to save money by buying the nuts in the shell, and I could crack them. Long story short, I wanted to buy a nut cracker. And so I used Google Translate, and the darn thing kept auto-correcting, and I would hand it to her and she didn't understand it, and she started giving me like goofy looks. And I would look back on it, and no kidding, the autocorrect it kept saying butt cracker, and that's no joke. And it kept doing it over and over again. So what was really funny is I would hit it nutcracker, it'd say nutcracker, I would show it to her, and she finally, with broken English, she's like, what do you need this for? And so finally I looked back and said butt cracker again, and this happened 3 times. Sorry if I'm laughing too much. It's my my very immature sense of humor here, but you can only imagine what she was looking at reading butt cracker translated into Albanian. So finally I did say put in nut in, sent it over through translate, and she knew right away. She's like, oh. She smiled, didn't have the sense of humor I had about it, but it was just very interesting. But nonetheless, she was very friendly about it, and she kept helping me and wanting to help me, and realized that I was having troubles communicating. So once again, the people is one of the reasons why I chose Durres, and that story is just kind of a testament to show how friendly they really are here. One other reason I chose Durres here as a place to stay, where I can get through. One reason that I chose, another reason I should say, is I chose Durres is it's a historical city. A lot of the Balkans are actually historical because of so much that's happened here, from the Roman Empire to the Ottoman Empire, obviously the Soviet Union and communism and the fall of that in the 80s. But it's a very historical city in itself, having things like the Roman amphitheater is here, one of the oldest preserved amphitheaters in all of the Balkans, from what I believe. And I made a whole separate video about that, so if you want to check that out, I'm not sure if it's up yet or not, but it's definitely going to be on my channel. Also, archaeological museums of the Roman Empire, like I've mentioned. Just the history and the culture and all the civilizations that have lived, not just in Albania, but Durres itself. So there's so much to learn here, and there's just so much to see and witness as far as history. So that's one other reason. I think one of the many reasons, not only myself, but a lot of people actually flock to Durres, is because of the white sandy beaches. Once again, very immature sense of humor today, apparently. No, kidding aside, I know this is kind of a different day for Durres with the snow and everything else, because this is not usual here. But in all seriousness, reason I chose, I got some music going on, so I'm gonna go this way. The reason that I chose it is because of the beaches. The climate here is usually very nice, and the beaches are usually very nice. Not exactly the nicest right now, and there's a lot of snow cover. But so for the beaches, for two reasons. One, beautiful sunsets at night, which I've definitely seen. And also for swimming on hot summer days. I'm not really sure if I'm going to be here in the heart of summertime, but I'm definitely going to be here when it's warm climate and warm weather. So I want to enjoy swimming in the Adriatic Sea. Right now is not the ideal time to be swimming, but just being by the sea, seeing waves and large bodies of water is calming, and it's very beautiful to photograph. And the beaches here are definitely beautiful. I did some research on them before I came here, and they're definitely very beautiful. It's just that right now it's kind of the off season, and so there's a lot of what you call a sargassum kind of hidden underneath the snowbanks right now, and seaweed, I guess, as they call it. But in the high seasons, from what I understand, this is all cleaned up. The pictures that I saw, this is all cleaned up. These beaches are amazing. The shops are all open. They're not really all open now, but the beaches here are just beautiful. From the images and the videos that I've seen, that was one of the reasons that I decided to come here. And it's a port city, which doesn't mean too much, but just a little fact of Durres as a city in general is that it's a port city, and it's I believe, and I could be wrong on this, it's the largest port in all of the Balkans. And you can see the port right behind me. That's kind of why I stopped. The port is all along here, and you see ships all coming in over there. Being a port city brings us to another reason right off the bat that I'll talk about. Is when I want to visit countries, I want to visit small towns, large towns, populated towns, and small towns. And so I will visit more of Albania and the bigger towns, but Tirana, the capital of Albania, is the most populated city. I believe close to 1 million people, 800,000-ish. Durres is actually the second most populated city in Albania, at roughly just under 200,000. So I wanted to come here right off the bat and kind of witness what not the largest city was, but a large city. And so, like I said, Durres is the second most populated city here. And even though I'm kind of spending all my time, and definitely the apartment I have is in living in Durres is in the Plepa area, in the plaza area, which is outside the city center. So it's even less people out and about walking around at the shops. I've been to downtown. Once again, I made videos of downtown. There's a lot more people, more shops, more bigger shops. So that's one reason that I wanted to come out in this area, is just because it's not that big, not that populated, and me coming from Mexico City, where there was just people everywhere, I wanted a kind of a calming experience. And that's kind of what the sea brings to you, the water brings to you, the sunsets bring to you, and the weather brings to you. So that was one major reason of visiting Albania in general, but specifically Durres. Another reason I came or chose Durres as the first city is because the amount of outdoor markets that are here. I like the idea of buying fresh produce at markets where you can, it's basically like produce in the grocery store, but they're more smaller businesses, not like large super chains of grocery stores. They're all like very small markets with fresh produce, and that's one thing I really love. And it's all the small business here too, so that's another reason why I chose Durres. Okay, and finally, one of the last and maybe the most important reason for choosing Durres, important meaning for any traveler like myself who is traveling on a budget, is the cost of living in Durres. And now Durres is very inexpensive to live in. I'm not saying it's the most inexpensive city to live in Albania, but it's very expensive especially by what I'm used to in the United States. You get what you pay for. You can live like a king here on $2,000 a month, but you can live very humbly on somewhere around $600 a month. I'm not going to go into exactly how much I pay for everything now. I have a different video, the cost of living video of Albania or Durres. But it definitely has to be mentioned as far as it's a reason why I chose Durres as the first place to visit, is the cost of living. It's very inexpensive here. And what I mean by that is cost of living, the accommodation, the apartment I'm staying in, and food. So it's a very cheap place, not quality by any means, but it's very inexpensive, and it's a very beautiful city too. So that's kind of the honorable mention at the end here, is it's beautiful, and all cities I think are beautiful in their own way. But once you kind of start walking around in the city and going through the alleyways and the roadways and seeing the architecture, you realize how beautiful of a city it is, and you appreciate traveling more because you get to see not what is necessarily on Google Images or other people's videos. It's a beautiful city, and it's a very inexpensive city to live in. So that is it. That are the reasons why I chose. What's going? Got music going on over here. Why I chose Durres, Albania, is the very first city for me to live in Albania. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the sights that I get to see every single day walking through here. And especially on a day like today, where it's a rare occurrence, where they got a snowstorm last night. Got to see some snow, not only on the beach, but out on the roadways as well. Snow covered this morning, and it was just kind of brought me back to my hometown in Wisconsin in the United States. So kind of a unique video today. Why I lived here, why I'm living here, why I chose this place, and you got to see a little bit of the town. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. So just remember, to inspire is to be inspired. Peace.